Yeah, Jonathan Gibson, J.C. Horn. Jonathan Gibson, depending on when people watch this, he will commit likely to South Carolina in the very near future. 6'1", about 190 pounds. Very good prospect, could play safety or defense or cornerback. I think they're looking at him more as the corner position, but likely to make a decision here very, very soon. J.C. Horn is a kid that South Carolina targeted. He's the son of former NFLer Joe Horn, and South Carolina was in good position. It looked like he was going to make a commitment on July 15th. He visited Tennessee and has since pushed his decision date back. It's a South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama battle. He's got a great relationship with Travaris Robinson and Will Muschamp. He knows that there's a need for playing time. Alabama's losing some guys in the secondary. Alabama definitely wants this young man, and Tennessee has got some kids committed to their program that's good friends with J.C. Horn. So it's a SEC battle for a very talented, long-rangey defensive back prospect that could come in and make an early impact at South Carolina. This is I don't want to say a must-have recruit, but this is one of the bigger ones on the board that South Carolina definitely wants to land in this 2017 cycle.
Yeah, so Horn's a top 20 cornerback according to 247 Sports. Jonathan Gibson more in that top 40 range. So at least at this point in their careers, and we know how the recruiting rankings go. There seems to be a little bit of a separation between the 3-star and the 4-star. But yeah, a couple guys that would definitely fit in well in the Will Muschamp defense in the future.
South Carolina holding the final summer recruiting event last Saturday, the Spurs Up Cookout, and a very good Saturday for them. They pick up 3 commitments on Saturday. They get a 2017 offensive or 2018 offensive lineman. I don't know if it's Jesus or Jesus, but it's Jesus Gibbs or Jesus Gibbs, a 6'4", 260-pound offensive tackle out of Virginia. South Carolina looking to upgrade the athleticism. You and I talked about that when we did the offensive line projections season. They've got to get more athletic, and Gibbs is one of those kids. Can play on the interior, can play on the tackle position. But that was a good pickup for them. He chose South Carolina over Boston College, Virginia, and NC State. They also landed a wide receiver, Tyquan Johnson, 6'3", 190 pounds, out of Scriven County in Georgia. This is a kid who chose them over Mississippi State as a 3-star prospect, but came to camp. And Will Muschamp and Brian McClendon identified this young man. They really wanted him to be a part of this receiving class. They like his length. They like his physical nature to block. They like his ability to catch and to separate from defenders. This is a kid, you talk about a sleeper in the class, I think could end up being that guy. He's got good height. He plays in South Georgia, which doesn't get a lot of that recruiting love. He didn't go to a lot of camps. That's a kid that I think you keep an eye on. And then they finished out their Saturday Spurs Up Cookout with a commitment from 2019, so a rising junior, a Darius Gee, a linebacker from Georgia. So we'll get into him later, but 6'1", about 200 pounds. Actually had 200 tackles. 200 tackles as a sophomore, so a tackling machine there. So a good pickup, but a kid who's still got to go through his junior year and his senior year before getting to South Carolina. The Gamecocks then went on to get another commitment on Sunday from a junior college wide receiver, Ronnie Jameson, originally from right down the road at Irmo High School, was about 6'2", 180 pounds, blew them away in camp. Doesn't have any big-time offers, so this is an evaluation kid where Will Muschamp and Brian McClendon, again, watching this kid in camp, identifying him, seeing, again, what they want to see out of their prospect, and saying, you know what, we want you to be part of our program. And he committed basically on the spot. And then maybe the biggest commitment of the week, South Carolina in need of defensive linemen. I apologize, I'm going to mess up his name, but it's 6'4", 260-pound Kingsley Inebre, I believe is how you say it, out of Hatfield Charter in Atlanta, Georgia, linemen in this class. They need talented guys who can get to the pass, get to the quarterback. And that's exactly what this young man is. He chooses South Carolina over Georgia and Georgia Tech. Also had offers from Auburn, Tennessee, and Penn State. This was a big pickup for them Wednesday night, getting a quality defensive lineman that will start out at defensive end. But when you're 6'4", 260, and then you hit that college strength and conditioning program, plus you get those meals, maybe he balloons up and ends up a little bit more closer to 290, 300. But a good week on the recruiting trail for South Carolina.
So I'm going to keep one of those names in my back pocket in particular when you talked up Tyquan Johnson, because when I looked at most of these guys, excluding the last football player that you mentioned, not going to be wowed by the recruiting rankings by 247 Sports. So you've got number 84 wide receiver in the composite, but we know how that works. It's more about fit It's about the player development with some of these guys that aren't the 5-star quality, but you see 6'3" and you see right around 200 pounds. So what I'm seeing on tape is him running by guys, and he's not going to do that necessarily at this level, but a big body that can square guys up and block out the sun and make those high point catches in front of some mismatched safeties in particular, possibly for Tyquan Johnson. So that'll be interesting to see, and we'll keep those names in mind for the future.